So today we're going to simulate an ARP spoofing or man-in-the-middle attack. What this is when an attacker spoofs ARP replies to its victims in order to trick them into associating their destination addresses with the attacker's MAC address, and this allows the attacker to intercept the victim's messages. So now we're going to show you an example of a non-attack network where the ping from the victim PC to the default gateway is successful, but when we go into the attacker PC and open up Wireshark and only filter ICMP messages, we can see that we've received nothing from the victim PC, none of that traffic. So now we're ready to begin our attack. For this attack we use the tool ettercap, and to go into this we simply typed ettercap-g and clicked sniff and began unified sniffing. And then once you have that set up, you can go to your host and scan for hosts. Then you can go to your host lists and begin adding your targets to the target list. So we are going to add our victim PC 192.168.1.4 to target 2 and our default gateway 192.168.1.1 to our target 1. Then we can begin our man-in-the-middle attack by clicking ARP poisoning and then clicking sniff remote connections. Now in the Wireshark of our victim PC, we can see that we're getting ARP messages stating that our default gateway is at the MAC address of our attacker. So when we ping now, it's successful still, but when we go into the Wireshark of our attacker PC, we can see that we have received all of the pings between the victim and his default gateway. Also, when we go into filtering ARP packets, and scroll up a bit, we can see that before our default gateway was set at the correct MAC address, but later it became our attacker MAC address, and this is because we sent the ARP spoofing messages. So now we're going to start our mitigation. We're going to do this in a little bit of a strange order in order to prevent the ARP inspection messages from spamming us. So all you have to do is first enable switch port security by putting the port in access mode, then enabling switch port security, and only allowing a maximum of one MAC address to be learned, as well as setting the switch port into violation restrict mode in order to prevent it from going into error disable state. So now we're just going to go ahead and configure dynamic ARP inspection as well as IP DHCP snooping in order to prevent false MAC addresses tied to real IP addresses from being stored in our victims tables. First, we're going to configure our trusted ports as IP ARP inspection trust and IP DHCP snooping trust so that they can bypass the inspection phase of the two dynamic ARP inspection and DHCP snooping that we configured, and then we're just going to enable IP DHCP snooping and IP ARP inspection. And you can already see that we're getting tons of violations from the attacker. Now to test if our mitigation worked, we're going to go into the victim PC and ping again and see that it's successful. And then we are going to go into our attacker PC and see that we did not receive any of the pings that we just pinged. So our mitigation was successful.